Do you find yourself wanting to transport you and your family to the French Quarter for an authentic Mardi Gras celebration, but you're not sure where to begin? I have got you covered. My name is Tiffany, and I help broken women develop into the best possible version of themselves through food, family, and fun. And for those adults wanting to indulge every once in a while, I also offer beverage pairing recommendations with quick, easy recipes. Check out my website in the description below and follow me on social media for daily tips and recipes. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my next video dropping right here on this channel. In this video, we are going to cover how you can create a simple meal plan to transport you and your family to the Big Easy without leaving your kitchen, but to make that Mardi Gras celebration one never to be forgotten. So let's get started. The main course options most common when it comes to a Mardi Gras celebration are jambalaya and all things Cajun. Now, jambalaya is very easy to come together in either a slow cooker or a pressure cooker, which is my personal favorite because it comes together in a fraction of the time. Now, you have typically some shrimp, andouille sausage, veggies, and all of those delicious Cajun spices coming together that is going to smell and taste just like you're in the French Quarter. Now, another common favorite for my family when it comes to Mardi Gras celebrations is a Cajun sheet pan meal. Now, this is another combination of andouille and vegetables. My personal go-tos are diced tomatoes and bell pepper strips, but you can use whatever you prefer when it comes to mixing those Cajun spices. Now, both of these are the authentic Creole seasoning, and when it comes to beverage pairing, one thing you want to remember is that sweet likes heat. So with those Cajun spices, you want to have a sweeter wine to counteract, to balance out the spiciness. Now, if you are looking for something to accent, don't go with a sweet wine, but go with a drier wine instead. However, most people like to have that well-balanced meal, so in this case, we are going to look at the sweet likes heat method. So whether you're going with your jambalaya filled with seafood or the sheet pan meal with sausage and chicken, the sweeter wines are going to be your best options. And you could do this as a white or a red, depending on your personal preference. My white wine recommendations to pair with these spicy main courses are a Riesling or a Malvasia, which is going to be more authentic for that part of the country. Rieslings do come in both sweet and dry varieties, so be sure to check the label before you grab your favorite bottle of Riesling. And for my red wine drinkers, a Pinot Noir is going to be your best option. The fruity forwardness of a Pinot Noir nicely complements the spicy notes of the Cajun food. And for those of you that are not wine drinkers, a Kolsch or a Bock style are going to be your best beer options when it comes to pairing with those Cajun foods. Now, before we dive into a couple of side dishes to go with your Mardi Gras celebration, I want to hear from you. What is your favorite food when it comes to Mardi Gras celebrations? Drop it in the comments below. I look forward to reading these and offering my expertise with beverage pairing recommendations to go along with your favorite food. Now, one of the most common side dishes that we see during a Mardi Gras celebration is red beans and rice. And this also doubles as a main course, depending on where you might find yourself celebrating Mardi Gras this year. Now, red beans and rice is a classic dish with nice savory flavors that will go with just about anything. But with the savory richness of this, you want to have another rich wine to go with. That way one doesn't overpower the other. Now, recommendations to go along with your red beans and rice would be a Petit Verdot or a Cabernet Sauvignon. Having the smooth and oaky flavors nicely balances out the red beans and rice, so one doesn't overpower the other. And for my beer drinkers, an amber is going to be your best option to go along with the red beans and rice. Now, another one of my personal favorites to serve up on Mardi Gras, or really any time of year, are beignets. And these can come together in the oven, or if you're looking to save some time, in the air fryer. Now, this cinnamon sugar deliciousness or powdered sugar is going to go very well with the amber or Petit Verdot as well. And you may even find yourself with some chocolate-filled beignets this year, which will go very nicely with that glass of Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, before we jump into some fun desserts, I want to remind you to hit the subscribe button because I'm dropping videos like this every week, and I would hate for you to miss out on the next one. When it comes to desserts for Mardi Gras, it's usually all things king related. So you may find yourself with a king cake, or a fun twist would be king spritz cookies. These both varieties are going to be filled with sugar and buttery deliciousness. So you're going to want a sweeter white wine to go along with these sugary treats. Now, if you're looking for some fun colors, you can definitely spice up that wine with some sugar or food coloring to go along with the purple, gold, and green that you typically see in your king cake desserts. Now, with these sugars, a nice white wine to go along would be a glass of Riesling. Now, remember that Riesling is going to go well with your jambalaya or other Cajun foods, so this would be a great option to have throughout the entire meal. Now, when just looking at the desserts, a Chardonnay is a great option because of the buttery and oaky flavors of that Chardonnay. That's going to nicely complement the sweetness of your sugary desserts. And for my non-wine drinkers, a cold glass of Kolsch is going to be a great option to go along with these sugary desserts. So let's keep this momentum going by creating the perfect experience for your next gathering outside of Mardi Gras. So I've got 3 tips to help you make that happen. The first one is sweet likes heat. So typically, sweet wines are your best option for your spicy foods. Now, depending on what the food is, will determine if you want to have a sweet red or a sweet white. But in general, sweet wines are your best option to counteract the spiciness of those foods. Tip number 2 is, generally speaking, your red wines go with your red meats and red sauces, whereas your white wines typically pair best with your white meats and your white sauces. Now, this is not always the case. There's always an exception, which leads us to tip number 3, and that is to consider your sides and seasonings. Now, when it comes to a nice plate of spaghetti with a tomato-based sauce and ground beef, a red wine is going to be your best option. However, if you find yourself with a cream-based sauce, instead of that tomato-based sauce, a white wine is going to go better with the garlic, butter, and herb flavors. With your side dishes and your seasonings, you always want to keep those in mind, not just pay attention to the main course, but look at the full picture to see overall which wine is going to go best with all of the options that you have in front of you. Now, if you are ready to create the ultimate pairing experience for your next event, download your copy of my free wine and food pairing guide in the description below and follow me for more tips and tricks.